So I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay-Z would watch. Diddy, as we know, is into those things.
People have been whispering for years that something about Ray J's over-the-top loyalty to Beyonce and Jay-Z feels off. It's like he's always ready to swoop in and clean up their image, and now folks are calling him the cleanup man for real. The word on the street is wild. Claims are floating around that Ray J and Beyonce were actually sharing a bed while Jay-Z watched. Yes, that's exactly what's being said out here. Even more shocking, insiders are whispering that Brandy allegedly knows all about her brother's secret fling with Beyonce and that there's proof of it caught on tape somewhere. This isn't something I've seen with my own eyes, but this is the tea being poured right now, and it's spilling everywhere. People are side-eyeing Ray J harder than ever, wondering why he jumps to defend Jay-Z and Beyonce every single time their names pop up in the headlines. Loyalty, respect, or something much deeper? Ray J even went after Jaguar Wright for her explosive interview on Pi Morgan Uncensored, where she blamed Diddy and Jay-Z for so much industry dirt.
And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
Instead of letting it slide, Ray J came in hot, preaching about how we need to stop negative spirits and focus on building, not tearing down. He kept going on about truth and integrity like he was the moral voice of the culture. But here's where people started rolling their eyes. Viewers noticed his sermon sounded more like a cover-up than a clapback. Some started openly asking, "Are you telling the truth?" And then things turned even nastier when Ray J himself snapped back, accusing people of lying on his name after a report surfaced about his past actions. Ray J's energy when it comes to defending Beyonce and Jay-Z is so intense, it's like he's ready to throw hands for them. He's been heard basically saying, "How dare you disrespect Beyonce and Jay-Z?" And Jay-Z is a pioneer, while warning people to never come for Beyonce. But why does Ray J ride so hard for the Carters like his entire career depends on it? People are convinced that's exactly what's going on, that his life really does depend on it. The whispers are getting louder. Allegedly, Ray J is far more entangled with the Carters than we could ever imagine. And now, stepping into the spotlight is Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist. Yes, the same Jonathan who was there when she first broke out with Pon de Replay. He's got his own messy history, and he's been connected to pushing this wild narrative about Ray J, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. According to these shocking claims, Jonathan even hinted that Ray J and Beyonce hooked up with Jay-Z right there watching.
But yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyonce with different men, such as Ray J.
People are calling it straight out of a Hollywood swingers club movie. That alone would have sent social media into flames, but it gets even juicier. Jonathan Hay had already been catching heat for years because of his role as Rihanna's publicist during a time when there were heavy rumors about Jay-Z having an affair with her. He recently sat down for an interview with All Hip Hop and spoke openly about those days. He admitted that back then he was angry with Harv, and because his attempt to get re-mentioned on MTV News didn't create the buzz he wanted, he spread the story of the affair to stir things up. Jonathan didn't hold back when he explained his grudge against Jay-Z. He admitted that back in the day, he became furious because Jay seemed more interested in Tiara Mari, while at the same time, rumors were flying that he was chasing after a UK rapper named Lady Sovereign, who Jay actually signed months later. Jonathan said the mix of rejection and disrespect sent him spiraling into desperation and anger. But that wasn't the only sore spot. Jonathan also claimed that Jay-Z was constantly trashing Amil, the former Rockefeller rapper who had quietly stepped away from the industry to raise her kids in North Carolina. And here's the jaw dropper. Amil once suggested that Beyonce herself tried to push her out after catching feelings for her. That right there shook fans who thought Amil simply disappeared. Jonathan basically painted a picture of betrayal and secret agendas behind the glitz. Then the story took a darker turn. Jonathan said federal agents actually stopped him one day. claiming they were monitoring Jay after his violent altercation with Lance Rivera. According to Jonathan, these so-called federal task force members pulled him into a makeshift interrogation room and grilled him about Jay-Z. They allegedly suspected Jay of illegally transporting Rihanna across borders and getting caught up in inappropriate activity with her while she was underage. Jonathan swore he was terrified, realizing just how deep this investigation might go. When it didn't stop there.
Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, you know, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, you know, protect the hip hop culture and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secret.
Jonathan claimed that investigators believed Rihanna wasn't the only one. There were others. He used that moment to start spilling all kinds of rumors about Jay-Z and Beyonce, including messy claims about Jay's private preferences. But the most explosive piece, Jonathan went as far as to say that Jay-Z enjoys watching Beyonce with other men. According to him, Jay liked that dynamic. And guess who he said was in the mix? None other than Ray J, allegedly one of the men destroying their partner while Jay looked on. If we're being real, nothing in Hollywood shocks people anymore. And that's exactly why Jonathan's claims hit so hard. He sounded so confident, like he wasn't making anything up. What's crazier is how many folks weren't even surprised when they heard it. Why? Because the streets have been whispering for years that Beyonce's private life is a lot messier than her polished image suggests. Allegedly, she's had her fair share of behind-the-scenes situations, so the idea of her linking up with Ray J while Jay-Z looked on doesn't sound far-fetched to some. And trust me, this isn't the first scandal tied to her name. There have long been whispers connecting Beyonce to the shocking death of Pimp C from UGK. Word on the street was that he had a tape with Beyonce and was planning to release it, and then suddenly, he turned up dead. Members of 3-6 Mafia like DJ Paul even said the whole thing felt suspicious. According to DJ Paul, Pimp C's own manager described finding his body in an eerie scene, lying as if in prayer, but with blood everywhere. At first, they thought he might have been hit in the head because the position didn't make sense. His candles, the same ones he always lit before sleeping, had all burned out, which suggested he had been dead for at least a day. The mystery only deepened, and whispers of Jay-Z's possible involvement began circulating.
Who was in this Pimp C tape?
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they would have to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
And that wasn't all. Music executive Greg Taylor also backed up the shady vibes, revealing a wild story about an awkward phone call between Jay-Z and Pimp C. He told the tale on The Art of Dialogue, explaining that right after the UGK collab on Big Pimpin' fell apart, Jay actually reached out to Pimp, and the tension was heavy. Fans have never forgotten that detail, and it only fueled more suspicion that something darker was at play. That infamous phone call between Jay-Z and Pimp C still lives in hip-hop history. Greg Taylor said it all went down on loudspeaker, so everybody in the room heard Pimp C straight up confront Jay. Pimp didn't hold back. He blasted Jay for failing to give Tupac's mother the money he had promised and openly embarrassed him during the call. That moment alone showed how messy things had gotten behind the scenes.
We set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go, after I leave Java, go to Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He's like, nah. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys. That's right. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. They was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. No, we want 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook. He writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what?
But Pimp C wasn't the only person tied up in the drama. There were also old school rumors swirling that Beyonce had something going on with Mos Def. Now, neither Bey nor Mos Def, later known as Yasin Bey, ever admitted to anything romantic, and most of their link-ups were strictly professional collabs and public appearances. Still, whispers from back in the day painted a different story. One particularly wild account came from SFA Sounds, who said he once spent a weekend around Destiny's Child when Beyonce was still early in her career. At first, he wasn't too impressed, thought she was just another pop singer. But by the end of the trip, he admitted Beyonce was way cooler than he expected. More importantly, he also claimed that during that weekend, it was clear Beyonce and Mos were playing around, leaving little doubt in his mind that something was going on.
I DJ'd for Mos Def, and we went over to London for some shows, and Destiny's Child was performing there. And I don't know if you know this, and don't tell anybody if you don't, but Mos Def kind of used to mess with Beyonce.
Other accusations have surfaced over the years, painting Beyonce as way more defensive about her private life than people realize. And that's why, for so many, the idea of her linking up with Ray J, with Jay-Z watching, doesn't sound far-fetched at all. It actually puts Ray J's ride or die loyalty to the Carters in a whole new light. People online are convinced it's not just about respect, it's about a hush-hush agreement tied to guilty consciences. Some even argue Ray J has gone too deep into whatever arrangement they made, which is why he keeps protecting them like his life depends on it. And here's where it gets even crazier. According to rumors, Ray J's sister Brandy allegedly walked in on him and Beyonce together back in the day. Yes, you heard that right. The rumor mill is saying Brandy herself allegedly walked in on Ray J and Beyonce in a compromising situation. Just picture that. Your own sister catching you with one of the most famous women on the planet. That's a level of messy Hollywood drama nobody could make up. And it doesn't stop there. Whispers online suggest that somewhere out there, a tape might even exist. Just like the one people claim Pimp C had with Beyonce or Ray J's infamous situation with Kim K. Whether this tape is real or just another urban legend that the internet refuses to let die, nobody knows for sure. But the thought alone has fans spiraling with speculation. What makes it even wilder is the claim that Brandy could have been a witness to the whole thing. Imagine carrying that secret for years, knowing exactly what you saw but never being able to say it out loud. That kind of family entanglement would explain why Ray J still goes so hard for Jay-Z and Beyonce, no matter how much backlash he faces. At this point, I don't know what to believe, but what about you? Do you think Ray J's extreme loyalty to the Carters is genuine respect, or is it tied to secrets he can never let out? Drop your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one.